Hello and thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Mackailyn Johnson. Here's a look at the stories we're bringing you today. Now at noon, answering your emergencies in the capital city. In 2 minutes, we're taking a look at how 911 dispatchers are making it work with almost half the positions unfilled. And the DOJ and former President Trump head to court over his request for an independent review of the documents seized from his Florida residence at 12:09. A preview of today's big hearing. It's a big week for Lord of the Ring fans. How you can watch Rings of Power and much more in our must-see headlines just ahead. But first, meteorologist Nathan Scott, you're here with us. It is Friday Eve, and it's also September 1st, which means, who's going to say it? Not me.
It means that it's no longer August.
No, it means it's meteorological fall.
Good job, meteorological fall.
There we go.
Yes.
What does that mean? What are we going to expect as the week goes on?
So basically, meteorological fall means for weather records, the fall season has begun, even though the equinox is still later down the road, not until September 22nd. And out there right now, it doesn't feel too bad. Look at these temperatures. They're into the low 80s, some mid 80s showing up on the board. We've got a mixture of sun and clouds moving through. So that sun's being filtered out somewhat as clouds are producing a few showers down into southwestern parts of the state. Also zooming in here right along the border of Montgomery County and Garland County. One lone downpour pretty close to Crystal Springs. So if you're watching it in that area, you'll see a quick shower. Won't last very long. Look at your dew points though. Here's, I guess you want to say, that hint of fall in the air because it's less humid. Those dew points have dropped down into the low 60s. Unless you're watching us in Mena, DeQueen, Texarkana, those dew points are still pretty soupy. Going throughout the day, we will have the opportunity of scattered showers and storms developing, especially late this afternoon into this evening for locations off to the west of Little Rock. The rest of us will stay dry. Temperatures topping into the upper 80s to lower 90s. The chance of rain will be going up for your Friday. I'll have more on that and your Labor Day weekend forecasts coming up.
Thanks, Nathan. And right now, police are investigating a suspicious death in North Little Rock. At around 10 o'clock last night, North Little Rock police were called to a residence on Share Street where they found a woman dead. The body has been taken to the state crime lab to determine the cause of death. If you know what happened, you are urged to contact police. We'll keep you updated on developments right here on THV 11 and THV11.com. And now to a THV 11 update. The city of Little Rock says a shortage of dispatchers and a rise in crime is stretching resources thin at its 911 center. We've been working to get answers on the reported delays and long wait times to get emergency help.
Last week, we told you about the dispatcher shortage in North Little Rock. Tonight, we take a look at the capital city's operations and show you the changes they hope will help make answering emergencies more efficient.
We're doing it, so we are being successful in getting the job done. However, it is a main concern for me about the physical and mental well-being of my staff.
Joanna Green has been the director of Little Rock's 911 communications department for almost a year now, making changes to the department in a time when staffing is limited. Right now, the department has 56 total dispatcher positions. They are down almost half, with only 32 positions filled.
Yes, can you please show me 98 from Fort Heights Middle School?
But Joanna is making some changes to make sure there's more dispatchers on the floor at a time.
We have more folks on. We're able to take more calls at one time.
One of the most recent changes, creating a 12-hour workday.
This actually allows them to have more off time where they can reset, decompress, not have to pick up a mandatory overtime shift.
The national standard for call answer time is less than 20 seconds. Joanna says Little Rock Dispatch meets that standard around 81% of the time, and they want to do better.
When calling 911, don't hang up. You know, there's a queue. If you hang up, you go back to the back of the queue.
Joanna tells us when a person calls the emergency dispatch, once that call is answered and the information is received, that information is assigned a priority level. Life or death events are top priority. A lower priority call could get a longer response time. If you need to report an incident that doesn't require police presence, you can call the non-emergency line.
I don't want to confuse the public with saying that their emergency is not a priority. But in order for us to manage better control of the types of incidents we have to assign them a priority code, which is already established by the police department.
I talked with LRPD today about getting a list of what calls are prioritized. We are still working to get that answer, and we'll update our article when we have it.
One way to reduce emergency calls is to reduce crime, and Pulaski County leaders are sharing their ideas to keep repeat criminals off the streets. The group presented a letter Wednesday morning focusing on creating more bed space in prisons for violent offenders. They say using money from the state surplus, of which there's about $1 billion left, is the solution. Those in attendance pushed back on the idea, saying programs designed to rehabilitate and reintroduce violent offenders back into society are the solution.
It's frustrating whenever you're talking about building a lot of prisons, because the majority of the people that they're going to lock up are going to be poor people, uneducated people, and people that don't really have a chance in our society.
The Department of Corrections tells us since 2018, they've added 680 beds, but according to a study that same year, they need nearly 3,000 more. And new this afternoon, the Crawford County Sheriff is responding to a civil rights lawsuit. Lawyers for the man whose violent arrest was captured in a viral video that you're about to see filed the federal civil rights lawsuit. Randall Worcester's attorneys claim a Mulberry police officer and 2 Crawford County deputies violated Worcester's constitutional rights. Crawford County Sheriff Jim DeMonte was also named in the suit, as well as the county and the sheriff's office itself. Now, we've gotten a hold of DeMonte's statement saying in part, quote, filing a lawsuit while there's still an independent investigation underway is premature. Nonetheless, our attorneys will defend the Crawford County taxpayers from who this lawsuit seeks payment. And meanwhile, a new special independent prosecutor is taking over one of the investigations into the incident. Former District Judge Emily White was appointed to handle the investigation into the use of force by the 2 deputies and 1 officer. The prosecuting attorney is also asking for someone to oversee the alleged crimes by Randall Worcester leading up to that arrest. A judge has yet to approve the request. He was charged with threatening a clerk at a convenience store prior to the incident caught on camera. Happening right now, drivers are already on the road using the new opening of the new Arkansas River Bridge. Part of the new bridge is officially open. As of right now, it's just 1 lane, a new on-ramp to Interstate 30 from downtown Little Rock. And RDOT has been eager to get this open as it's a part of a larger effort, the 30 Crossing Project. The new on-ramp at 4th Street will place northbound frontage road traffic onto the new River Bridge. This traffic can then exit to Broadway Street in North Little Rock or continue and merge into I-30 eastbound lanes north of that Broadway exit. So it's a 1 lane to the Broadway exit from I-30 or I-630. Now this opening is just the first phase. More lanes will open, and according to Dave Parker with RDOT, it will take a couple of weeks. Gradually, traffic will move over on the eastbound side of the River Bridge. Then eventually they'll move the westbound traffic over to the new bridge as well.
And then shortly after that, we will take down the existing River Bridge, and that's going to take probably 10 months to complete. The project itself just hit the 2-year mark. We will complete the first phase, which is the majority of the project, in July of 2025. So we still have a good ways to go.
Here's another reminder. We can't say this enough. Drivers needing to exit at Broadway in North Little Rock must take downtown exit 140 in Little Rock and continue over the River Bridge. And this current detour will only be in place during phase 1. 2 more dates to keep in mind, September 10th and 17th, when eastbound and westbound traffic will move onto the new River Bridge respectively. Former President Donald Trump's legal team and attorneys for the U.S. Justice Department meet in court today. Natalie Brown has more from Washington.
A federal judge in Florida will hear arguments this afternoon over former President Trump's lawsuit seeking to have an independent review of the documents seized from his Florida home.
She has a lot of questions that she needs to ask and get answers to.
In a Wednesday night filing by Trump's legal team, his attorneys argue the DOJ's own review of the documents for attorney-client privilege had deficiencies and called the search unprecedented, unnecessary, and legally unsupported. But the filing does not address the DOJ's claims of possible obstruction, though it does claim that one specific event, the June 3, 2022 meeting, has been significantly mischaracterized. Trump's legal team referenced a meeting in which the DOJ says a Trump lawyer told investigators that all sensitive documents had been returned.
They had not been turned over. Not only that, there were twice as many documents not turned over, and they were all through the personal residence in an insecure location, and documents classified at some of the highest security classifications.
A photograph included in the DOJ's bombshell filing this week showed classified and top-secret documents that the DOJ says were recovered from a container at Trump's Florida estate.
That is not the way his office looks. Anybody that knows President Trump's office, he has guests frequently there. It's just a joke.
In the Wednesday night filing, Trump's attorneys stopped short of providing any evidence to back up the former president's claims that he declassified the documents in question. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Trump has a new attorney who will take the lead role at this afternoon's hearing. Chris Kise, Florida's former Solicitor General, was hired this week. And it's the last big travel weekend of the summer. Just ahead, what travelers can expect this Labor Day weekend. But what does the weather have in store, Nathan?
Well, Mackailyn, we're going to have the chance of some showers and storms out there for a Labor Day weekend, but will it be a washout? I'll have that answer and the Razorback football forecast coming up.